Will the gentleman yield?
The gentleman yield
Speaker?
for questions.
I will.
The gentleman yields.
John, first of all, let me thank you for your 6 sessions in service to the Texas legislature and to the folks back home. Thank you publicly for what you've meant to the Texas House.
Thank you.
Well, John, not only your service, but your wife Elizabeth has served right along with you, and I'd like to, I know you have found her by your side the whole time, and thank you both for your service.
Thank you very much.
John, thank you for bringing this amendment.
And I want to thank the whole House for.
As the Chairman Buckley said, Article 7, Section 1 of the Texas Constitution says that it shall be the duty of the legislature to the state to establish and make suitable provision for the support and maintenance of an efficient system, and I'm going to stress this, public free schools. Is there anything in our Texas Constitution that says we must take and divert public dollars and direct them to private or parochial schools?
Nothing I'm aware of.
You're a man of duty. You serve faithfully. Do you consider that to be part of your duty to vote for a system that diverts those public dollars to non-free public schools? Would that be a violation of your duty?
It would definitely be a violation of my duty.
I'm going to ask you some budget questions, okay? I think you said it in your layout. Where are we going to get the money for this? Money doesn't just drop in from the heaven. It's hard-earned. It's taxpayer dollars. It's fees. It's sales taxes. It's severance taxes that are collected by the state of Texas to be devoted for public services. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. And we have done everything we can to save taxpayers' dollars by compression of the tax rates. And I appreciate that. But when we do this, what Mr. Buckley's bill does, we're going to be in trouble financially, and we're going to have to rescind some of that.
Let me ask you this. Were you a part of the 2011 legislative session in which we cut $5 billion out of public schools?
I came in December, so I was not part of that.
Okay, you missed that fund, didn't you?
I missed that fund,
Well,
but I heard about it.
It was not fun. I will tell you, the state was enduring a $10 billion shortfall, and we didn't have enough money to pay for the priorities of this state. And so we had to take money from what I consider to be the top priority of this state, and that's funding public education. But we had to take $5 billion away. We've never fully restored that money, nor have we kept up with inflation. Certainly over the last 2 bienniums, we've not kept up with inflation. So my question is, you supported $18 billion in compression over the last 2 bienniums for property taxpayers, have you not?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And where did that money come from? It came from a robust economy?
It did. It came from a very robust economy.
It didn't fall from the trees, but it came from hard-working Texans that earned that, and our economy grew accordingly. Did any of that $18 billion in tax compression add $1 to public education?
No, it did not.
It did not. It was a cost because this legislature said it's a priority to take this money and help property taxpayers in Texas. Everyone on this floor almost unanimously supported that effort. But it did not result in $1 more to education. It simply reversed the disproportionate amount that the legislature pays for the cost of educating public students versus local property taxpayers. So would you consider that to be a priority of yours and of this legislature?
It was a priority
Okay. The fiscal note on this bill estimates that the cost of the ESA vouchers in the next biennium will be $4 billion. John, where's that going to come from?
From the sky, I guess.
It's coming out of the Treasury, is it not?
It is coming out of the Treasury.
And if I told you that the Department of Corrections budget in this biennium is $4 billion, would that surprise you? $4 billion per year to maintain our prisons.
Gentleman's time to expire. Mr. Darby.
Mr. Speaker, would you grant an extension, or would the body grant an extension?
There's a motion to extend the times of objection. The chair has none so ordered. Mr. Darby.
$4 billion per year to maintain the Department of Corrections, is that correct?
Yes.
Would it surprise you to know that the Department of Public Safety is $3 billion per biennium? Would that surprise you?
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Would it surprise you that we have committed as a body a great deal of money for border security? That is a priority.
Absolutely.
And that's $4 billion per year, per biennium. Where does all this money come from to be able to support prisons, DPS, border security, higher education coordinating board, Texas Juvenile Justice Department? All of those are funded out of the discretionary part of our budget.
That's correct.
Would it surprise you to know that 88% of our budget is governed by formulas, by constitutionally required spending limits, by statutory measures that we've implemented, and that it only leaves less than 12% to fund discretionary items? Does anybody in this room think it's discretionary that we have prisons? Yeah. Does anybody in this room think it's discretionary to fund DPS? We don't have a lot of flexibility. We are handcuffed because our budget we've made prior decisions. We just made prior decisions on funding energy, broadband. We've taken money out of our available resources to fund very much the priority. So I guess my question to you is, how do you see the ability of the state to meet the priority needs of this state if we continue to take and create another entitlement program?
Mr. Darby, I served on appropriations 4 times, and I think that when I first served on there, the discretionary part of the budget was about 17%. It's reduced. It's made it more difficult for us to handle all of the other things that you just mentioned, other than education and health and human services.
Is this the conservative thing to do? To create another entitlement program? In effect, to create a third education system? We have a public education system, we have a private and parochial education system, and now we're funding a whole network of an entitlement to fund students in this state?
It is not conservative.
And do you ever think in your wildest imagination that entitlement is going to be cut off in some future budget cycle?
Representative Darby, I've been around here a long time. I don't believe I've ever seen anything that we created that cost money ever shrink. It's going to grow.
Representative Frank said, it's only $500 million. You know, just have this little lollipop, kid. It's just a small bite. It won't hurt you. Take one drag, take one hit.
I think it was Everett Dirksen that said one time, $1 million here and $1 million there. It won't be long, we'll be spending some real money.
These guardrails, Representative Frank said there's guardrails. Have you been around this body for the last 6 sessions that we didn't spend most of our time undoing guardrails that we previously set on bills? That's what we do, is remove guardrails. Once you have a program, they'll never be removed. I mean, they'll be removed and the program will be expanded.
I agree Once we get them, we got them.
Correct. Thank you for your service, John Raney.
Thank you.